Okay, I want you to close your eyes for a second. We're not in a studio anymore.
Okay.
We're standing at the foot of a misty mountain range in southern China. It's winter.
And not that crisp, snowy winter. This is a damp cold, right?
Exactly. The kind of wet, heavy chill that just ignores your jacket and seeps right into your bones. The sky is this flat, steel gray. But then you catch a scent on the wind.
It's a very distinct smell. It's not just a campfire. It's richer.
It's savory. It's wood smoke, but it smells meaty. And if you look up at these traditional wooden houses on the slope, you see something hanging from the eaves.
Rows and rows of it.
Dark, cured strips of meat swaying in the draft. They look almost like mahogany.
That is a very evocative way to start. And what you're seeing there isn't just a pantry. It's a clock. That meat is marking time.
Today we are doing a deep dive into Là Ròu. Now, if you just translate that, you get Chinese smoked pancetta or Chinese bacon. But after all the research for this, calling it bacon feels, I don't know, like it's doing it a disservice. It's like calling a vintage Bordeaux just grape juice.
It frames it wrong. Yeah. If you go in expecting American breakfast bacon, you're going to be really confused. Là Ròu is a preservation ritual. It's a philosophy sealed by smoke.
And that's our mission today. We want to understand how this isn't just a recipe, but a tool for survival. We need to unpack those three key elements: winter, smoke, and patience.
Winter, smoke, and patience. That is the perfect roadmap.
So let's start with geography. We're in southern China, Hunan, Sichuan, Guizhou, Yunnan. Why there? I mean, northern China gets cold too.
It boils down to the climate and, the pre-fridge logic of survival.
Pre-fridge logic, I like that.
In the north, the winter is dry and freezing. You can basically freeze meat outside or air dry it without too much worry. But in the south, the winter is humid. It's damp.
And humidity is the absolute enemy of preservation.
Precisely. Mold, bacteria, they love humidity. If you just hung a piece of raw pork on a porch in Sichuan, it would rot before it cured. So they needed a technology.
And that technology was smoke.
That technology was smoke. It creates a barrier.
So the smoke wasn't originally about flavor. It was basically a fungicide.
It was a necessity. Smoke contains phenols, other compounds that are antimicrobial. It coats the meat and stops insects and bacteria getting a foothold. The amazing flavor. That was just a happy, delicious side effect of survival.
That makes perfect sense. Now let's talk about the name. You said time earlier. The word Là Ròu, it gives us a timestamp, doesn't it?
It does. The character La refers to the winter sacrifice, or more specifically, the 12th month of the lunar calendar. So Là Ròu is literally winter meat.
Which implies a deadline. You can't make this in July.
No, and you wouldn't want to. It's all tied to the agricultural cycle. You raise a pig all year, it's at its fattest in winter.
But you can't eat a whole pig in a week.
Right. You need that protein to last you through the spring planting season when food is scarce.
So, surplus of meat, cold, damp climate, and a need to make it last. That's the equation.
That's the equation that gives us Là Ròu.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into the how. Because this is where the philosophy really splits from, say, Italian pancetta that most of us would know.
It is fundamentally different. Think about European pancetta or prosciutto. It's cured mainly with salt.
Right. Salt draws the moisture out. Osmosis.
Exactly. The goal is dehydration. You could say that European curing, it speaks with salt.
Speaks with salt. I like that. It's all about drying.
Right. Là Ròu, on the other hand, whispers with smoke. The goal isn't just drying the meat. The goal is infusing the smoke into the meat fibers. It's about permeation.
Entrusting the meat to time. That was in our notes, and I love that phrase. But before the smoke, you have to prep the canvas. We're talking pork belly.
Yes, the 5-flour cut. You need those layers of fat and meat, and crucially, the skin stays on. If you take the skin off, you ruin the final texture.
And the pig itself matters. You want a fatty pig.
Oh, yeah. Fat is the vehicle for flavor. If it's too lean, it just dries out into a rock.
So we've got our pork belly, now the marinade. And this ingredient list reads less like a butcher shop and more like an apothecary.
It really does. This is where you get that regional terroir. You've got your sea salt, a little brown sugar, but then come the aromatics. Sichuan pepper huajiao is essential.
For that numbing, floral citrus note.
Exactly. Then star anise, cinnamon bark. But there's one ingredient that I think really defines the complexity, and it's one we almost never see in Western charcuterie.
The orange peel.
Yes, dried orange peel. Specifically, aged mandarin peel, or chenpi.
Why? Is it just for a fruity taste?
It's more functional. In Chinese medicinal cuisine, pork is seen as heavy and greasy. The dried orange peel adds this bitterness and bright citrus that cuts through the fat on your palate. It lifts everything.
So it creates balance. You take this amazing mix, rub it into the meat, and then...
Then phase 1 of patience begins. You put it in a clay pot and let it sit for 7 to 10 days, turning it every single day.
Right. Okay, I want to flag a detail here that blew my mind. Usually when you salt something, liquid comes out and you wipe it off, right?
Right.
But the notes said to do the opposite for La Ròu.
Yes, and this is a brilliant insight into the cure. That salt pulls water out, creating a brine in the bottom of the pot. In many Western techniques, you drain that.
But you leave it. Why? Wouldn't that make it soggy?
You have to trust the process. Over those 10 days, the meat's structure changes. It relaxes. And that liquid, which is now full of pork juices and all those dissolved spices, it gets drawn back into the muscle fibers.
So it's a feedback loop. The juices come out, get flavored, and then go back in.
Precisely. It intensifies the internal flavor. You'd be throwing away the soul of the meat if you drained it.
That's so cool.
Again.
Okay, so after 10 days, the meat is cured. Now for the main event, the smoking ritual.
This is where we go from the pot to the rafters. The meat is hung up high. And this isn't an afternoon job. We're talking another 10 to 20 days.
20 days, that's a huge commitment.
It's a vigil. And the wood matters. Traditionally, it's bamboo, pine, cypress, whatever's around.
I saw tea tree wood mentioned. That sounds incredible.
It gives it a very specific, almost tannic aroma. Some families even throw dried tea leaves or rice husks on the fire.
We need to be clear about the physics here, because smoking meat makes me think of Texas BBQ. This is not that.
No, absolutely not. That's hot smoking, where you're cooking with heat and smoke. La Ròu is cold smoking.
What's the temperature difference we're talking about?
It's huge. The meat hangs high up, far from the flame. The temperature around the meat stays low, maybe below 20-30 degrees Celsius. The goal is strictly not to cook it. It stays raw.
It's preserving, not cooking.
Correct.
Now, here's where it got really fascinating for me. The research mentioned the color of the smoke. I never thought about that before.
It's the primary visual cue. You are looking for blue smoke.
Blue smoke. Okay, let's unpack that. What is that physically?
When wood burns cleanly, it's smoldering, not roaring. It releases tiny particles that scatter light in a way that looks blue. This is clean smoke, full of those aromatic phenols you want.
And the alternative? What happens if you get it wrong?
You get yellow smoke. Thick, billowing clouds. That means the fire is choked or the wood is wet. That smoke is full of soot and creosote.
Creosote, like on telephone poles.
Basically, yeah. If you use yellow smoke, the meat will taste acrid and bitter. It leaves this awful tar-like deposit. You want that thin blue whisper? It takes real skill.
It really is craftsmanship, not just burn wood, get bacon.
It is.
So fast forward a month, 10 days curing, 20 days in blue smoke. The meat is dark, firm, rock hard. How do we eat it? Because I can't just slice a piece off, can I?
Please don't do that. That is the #1 safety rule. La Ròu is raw pork. It's preserved, but it has not been heat treated. It is an ingredient. You must cook it.
Okay, noted. Do not eat raw. But there's a prep step first?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's super salty.
Right. If you just sliced it and threw it in a wok, it would be tough and way too salty. So the hack is a hot soak. You wash it, then soak the whole piece in warm water for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Just a warm bath. What's that doing?
2 things. It draws out the excess surface salt, and more importantly, it rehydrates the skin and fat. It sort of wakes the meat up, softens it.
Okay, so it's softened. What are the classic ways to serve it?
You don't eat a giant steak of this stuff. It's a flavor enhancer. One of the simplest, most elegant ways is to slice it paper thin and just steam it.
Just steam, no sauce.
The meat is the sauce. A classic method is to steam the slices right on top of a pot of cooking rice.
Oh, wow. I can just picture that.
Think about it. As the rice steams, the fat on the La Ròu renders, and that smoky, savory fat drips down into the rice grains below.
So the rice gets infused with everything.
Exactly. It's incredibly addictive. You get the buttery fat, but the skin still has a little bit of a pleasant chew to it.
What about a stir fry?
That's the other classic. But again, you use it as a flavor bomb. You render the fat in the wok first, get it brown and crispy, and then you toss in vegetables that love to soak up that flavor.
Like what?
Garlic sprouts are the classic partner. Or leeks, spicy green peppers. The vegetables give you freshness and crunch to balance out that richness.
Let's break down that flavor. What's actually hitting your tongue?
It's like a symphony. First, the salt, that's the punch. Then immediately the smoke, but it's a deep umami, not just a surface smell.
Then the fat.
Then the fat coats your tongue. And finally, the finish. That little tingle from the Sichuan pepper, the warmth of the cinnamon, and that bright lift from the orange peel. It lingers.
There's a line in our notes. This bacon doesn't shout. It speaks deeply.
That's the perfect way to put it. American bacon shouts. It's crispy, salty, immediate. Là Ròu is slower. It's a deeper conversation.
Which brings us to the bigger picture. When you see that meat hanging from the eaves of a house in a village, what is that signaling?
Historically, it was a signal of security. You have to remember, famine was a real memory in these places. Seeing rows of Là Ròu, that was a visual display of preparedness.
It's a sign that says, we're going to be okay.
Exactly. The message was, this house will survive the winter. It's literally life insurance hanging on the porch.
That is so powerful.
And even today, when people have refrigerators, it retains that meaning. It is the silent star of the Lunar New Year dinner.
Because it connects them to that history.
It connects the past to the present through flavor. It's a taste that says, we made it through another year.
It's amazing how food can do that. It just anchors you in time.
It does. We often taste ingredients, but with Là Ròu, you are tasting time itself.
So as we wrap up, let's recap. What's the main takeaway here?
I think we have to come back to that holy trinity we started with. Salt, smoke, and time.
Salt, smoke, and time.
We live in a world of instant gratification, Fast food, 15-minute recipes. Là Ròu teaches us the opposite. It shows that truly profound food sometimes just requires waiting.
It's the difference between cooking and curing. Cooking is active, curing is an act of faith.
Beautifully said. When those three elements combine, the meat stops being just food. It becomes a story that smells of smoke.
I love that. A story that smells of smoke. And I think that's a perfect place to leave our listeners.
I agree.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on, pun intended. We talk about how Là Ròu is the taste of time for these communities. I want you to think about your own culture, your own family. What is the food in your life that represents time rather than just cooking?
That's a great question.
Is it a sourdough starter that's been alive for years? A jar of pickles from your grandma? A Christmas cake that has to age for months? What flavor can you not rush? Because in a world that's always rushing, maybe those are the flavors we need to hold on to the tightest.
Taste the time. I like that.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next one. Stay curious.